Hey everyone, I'm Sarah and today we are going to be doing crochet. So welcome to my stream. We are starting a series of interesting stitches and I'm very excited. I feel like we've hit enough of our foundation stages. You know, we learned single crochet, we learned double crochet, we've learned how to crochet in the round, we've learned how to increase stitches and decrease stitches, and last week I even went a little crazy and taught you some freeform. So we are fully prepared to learn interesting stitches, like cool textures and patterns that you can make just with the basic crochet that you know. So this stitch is called the Bobble stitch, and you notice it's got this interesting kind of bubble pattern on it. All right, so this is what we're going to learn to do today. This stitch is going to combine, we're going to actually combine the double crochet and the single crochet today. So I'm going to do a little bit of refresher on the single crochet just because we haven't done it in a while. We've been focusing mostly on the double crochet. So maybe I'll just do a refresher on everything. But the other thing I'm going to refresh on, because this is important, because this is how I do my crochet, is I like to do what's called a chainless foundation. So using a double crochet, I'm going to teach you how to get a foundation that looks like this. That it looks pretty similar to the chained foundation, but you get to skip a step. You get to just go right into it rather than having to chain and then crochet into each loop on the chain. So, okay, let's go ahead and talk real quick about our supplies, like I like to do at the beginning. I've got some size 4 or worsted weight, that's medium, and where you can find that is you look on the back and you'll see there's a little 4 there, and that tells you what size to use. This will tell you the size hook to use. This particular one says, oh my goodness, 5 millimeters. Well, that's great because that's what I'm using. That's an H in American sizes. And so but I usually go by the metric. But anyway, this is a 5 millimeter. I've got a pair of scissors for trimming. I'm just going to put those to the side because we don't need those right now. And I went ahead and made my first, I use this yarn, which is also worsted weight, just medium, you know, the inexpensive acrylic stuff. I went ahead and made that my Bobble stitch example, my little sample piece, I made in this color just so we could see a difference. But I'm going to actually do my demonstration in this color. I also like this yarn a little bit better because it's soft. Okay, so let's do some review. All right, so we're going to review first. We're going to, and just so you guys know, the thunder is reminding me I've already had one power outage this morning, which is why I didn't get my stream started until a couple minutes before I came on. So if we go out for some reason, I will eventually come back on and finish the stream, but just letting you know that we're having very bad thunderstorms here. So I might get another power outage. Okay, so slip knot. You make a little loop just by twisting. You take whichever side is on top, make another little loop, and come up through the middle from the bottom. So come up from the bottom. You're going to grab that loop, grab your tail and your working yarn, and pull. All right, so now we have our slip stitch. Okay, don't worry about how long your tail is. That's no problem. Okay, now we're going to review, and this is important because I've only gone over it once. I taught it last week for the first time. We're going to review the chainless foundation. All right, so go ahead and get your hook in there. So first thing we're going to do is chain 3. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3. All right, so we chain 3. We're going to do a double crochet. So yarn over like you are starting your double crochet. You're going to go into that first chain. Now here is the magic. You have to do this step. It's important. So you pull through like normal, yarn over, and pull through only the first one. Okay? That creates our base for our next double crochet. Then you yarn over again and finish your double crochet like normal. You pull through 2, yarn over, pull through the next 2. All right? So yarn over like you're going to start your double crochet. Now what we're going to do is, remember that first one that we did? That's right here. All right? So we are going to, that's where we created that base. So we're going to go into that base that we created. Yarn over, pull through just like normal. Again, remember, we pull through just the first one. That creates our next base. Now we do our regular double crochet. Pull through 2, pull through 2. All right? So remember, we're going through that base first. So go through the base. Pull through just the first one. Oops. It's getting excited and wants to go through more loops. Then you do your regular double crochet. Pull through 2, pull through 2. Now what we're going to do is we're going to do 20 across. That's for this pattern is 20 across. This is kind of important, and the reason why is because you need to have some regular single crochet stitches in the middle of our bobble stitches. So what that means is that there's a little bit of math here. This is where crochet math comes into play. So we've got 2 stitches on one side and 4 stitches on the other side, 3 in the middle. So that's 6 plus 9 is 15, right? Plus, let's see, hold on. 3, sorry, 3 on the side. 3, 7, 16, and then we have 4 bobbles. So plus 4, that's 20. Okay, so that's how many we need. We need 20 across. All right. Actually, you know what? It might be 19. It doesn't matter. I did 20. So we're going to do 20 because that's what I did. All right. So far we only have 4. 1, here's our first one, 2, 3, 4. So let's get rolling. All right. So we're going into that first, foundation that we made. Pull through just the first one, then pull through our next 2. All right, and we're going to do this all the way across until we get to 20. And like I said, I did do my math wrong. It really should be 19, I think. Yeah, but it's okay. We're going to go with 20 because that's what I did. She did the math wrong, folks. To be honest, I didn't actually do the math at all. I estimated. So that's really the problem, is that I should have done the math. Okay. Let me get some slack going. Always remember to get yourself some slack, because you don't want it to start getting tight, because as soon as it starts getting tight, your tension gets really bad and it becomes no bueno, and like it ends up, you know, curling in on itself and doing all kinds of things you don't want your crochet to do. So you go through that hole at the bottom, pull through the first stitch. You're going to pull, through the first loop, excuse me, not stitch. We're making stitches. Bitches making stitches. That's how we roll. All right. Oops. He's wanting to go through more holes than I'm allowing. That's not okay. You just wait your turn, buddy. Gotta tell him. All right. So, how has everyone's week been so far? You know, it just started, but I've had a particularly good week so far. My Monday was possibly the best Monday I could imagine. So, you know, or at least in a long time. So I'm hoping everybody else has had a great week so far. A good beginning to your week, rather. Everybody's so quiet today. Let's see who we have in chat today. Teacher Margot. Well, Teacher Margot is part of my good week, so that's good. Yeah. I don't know how she thinks her week is going, but she has made my week stellar so far. So thank you for that. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. We're at 13. All right. So remember, just a reminder of double crochet. You yarn over, put it through the hole, pull it through, yarn over again, pull it through. Normally you pull it through 2, but we're just pulling through 1 so we can create that base this time. Yarn over, pull it through 2, yarn over, pull it through the next 2. All right, so yarn over and push it through that bottom hole there that you just created. Just pull through the first one. Oh, I got a heart from Teacher Margot. Well, she gets many hearts from me. My life is better because of her. Just in general. Just in general. Since I moved to this town, she's the best thing about it. All right. I don't even know how many I'm at now. I'm just like not counting. We'll get there. 19 or 20, whichever you want to do. At this point, I don't think it matters. Okay. Let's see. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. So close, y'all. All right. So let's get these last 3 or 4 done. right. 2 more, I believe. I'm probably going to have to count again because, well, I get off. I get off count. It happens. So let's just count real quick. One more for good measure. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Oh, see? Good thing I stopped. All right. All right, so here's what we're going to do. We are going to chain 1. We're going to be doing single crochet here for a little bit. Chain 1. That allows us to turn. Okay. So we are going to single crochet. So just a reminder or a refresher of single crochet. You go into the hole, that very first hole. So single crochet is the only one where you're actually going into the first hole. So you go into that first hole, pull through, yarn over, pull through both. And we're going to actually do this 2 times. So go through, yarn over, pull through both. All right, so 2 single crochets. Now, this is where it gets fun. This is where we're going to start making our bubbles. So go ahead and yarn over. We're going to do a double crochet. So yarn over, go through your hole there and pull through. You're going to yarn over again, pull through the first 2, but now we're going to just do another double crochet. So instead of pulling through these 2, we're going to actually yarn over, go back through that same hole, okay? So we yarn over, go through the same hole, pull through, yarn over again, pull through the first two, and then we're done. We're gonna keep doing another one. So yarn over again, go through that same hole. That's how it makes it so poofy, because we're all doing everything in the same hole, so it gets kind of tight. All right, pull it through, yarn over again, pull through the first two, and then we're done. We're going to do another one. Yarn over, go through, pull through the first two. Now, nope, we only have 5 on here. So we're going until we get 6 on here. We're doing this 5 times. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have 5, so we need 6 on here. So you go through one more time, pull through the first two. Now I should have 6 on here. I do. So as soon as you have 6, you yarn over and pull through all 6. All right, if you didn't get that, that's okay. Let's just keep going. Your bobbles are probably going to look kind of funky at first. That's no problem. You'll get the hang of this. All right, now we're going to single crochet in the next 3 stitches. So we're going to go in this hole, pull through, and single crochet. Go through, pull through, yarn over, pull through both. One more. Okay, so now we're going to do our bobble stitch again. So you yarn over like you're going to do a double crochet, go through the hole, pull through. You're going to yarn over and pull through the first 2 and leave these sitting on there. Yarn over, go through that same hole and pull through. Yarn over again, pull through the first 2. And now we've got 3 on here. Yarn over, go through the same hole, pull through, yarn over again, pull through the first 2, and count how many we have. Now we have 4. We're going till we get to 6, so we've got to do this 2 more times. So yarn over, go through the hole, pull through, yarn over again, pull through just the first 2. Now we have 5. Yarn over. This is the last time. Go through that hole, pull it through, yarn over again, pull through the first 2. Now we should have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So you yarn over and pull through all 6. We're going to single crochet. So we just go into that first hole, pull through, yarn over, and then pull through both. We're going to do that 2 more times, so 3 times after our bobble stitch. Single crochet. And then and you see what's happening. It's creating a little bobble. Bobble, bobble. All right, we're ready for our next bobble stitch once you've got 3. So yarn over. Go through the next hole. Pull through, yarn over again, pull through just the first 2. So now you have 2 on there. Yarn over, go through, pull through, yarn over again, pull through just the first 2. Oops, that one left a little strand. Okay, there we go. Now we have 3 on there. So let's do that until we get to 6. So just the first 2. And then just keep going. Just the first 2. Keep going. And I should have 6 on this next time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right, I now have 6. So you're going to yarn over, pull through all 6 of them. Our next 3 are going to be single crochet. So you go into the next hole, pull through, yarn over, and pull through both loops. That's your single crochet. So we're going to do that 3 times. Okay, now we're ready for our bobble stitch again. So bobble stitch, I'm gonna keep repeating this until you guys, it's just like locked in your brain. So we're gonna do a double crochet now. So you yarn over, you go through the hole, pull through, yarn over again, pull through just the first two. And my yarn is being wonky today. Okay, there we go. So now you've got 2 on there. So we're not gonna pull it through again. We're gonna leave those 2. Yarn over and start another double crochet in that same loop. Yarn over, pull through just the first 2. Now we have 3 on there. We're going to do this until we get 6. So just keep doing this, just pulling through the first 2 and then doing another kind of a half. You're doing a half a stitch. Let's see, how many do I have on here? I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so I need to do 1 more. So yarn over, go through that same hole and pull through. All right. My yarn is being wonky. It's pulling apart. There we go. So I pull through the first 2. Count how many I have. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Excellent. I have 6. So I'm going to yarn over and pull through all 6 of them. Now I'm going to go ahead and single crochet in the next 4 crochets. There should be 4 crochet stitches left. So I'm going to go 1, just single crochet, 2, 3, and 4. Somewhere that was not a single crochet. Hang on. There we go. Okay. So we're done. Now you can see we've got our bubbles on the other side. Now what we're going to do is we're going to actually double crochet all the way across the row because we want to have a little bit of a break between these. Otherwise these would be like right next to each other, like this. It would be smushed. Now that could be the pattern you're going for. And in fact, you could skip the 3 crochets in the middle, those things, 3, you could just do 1 and you could have a pattern that's very close together like this. And that will create a definite pattern. I like to have mine a little spread apart. I think it looks a little bit nicer. So we're going to just double crochet across. So what we're going to do is chain 3. That's our first double crochet. So 1, 2, 3. We're going to turn. Now, this is the tricky bit about double crocheting into the back of your bobble stitches because when you get to the bobble stitch, you've got this one really long loop. So let's go ahead and double crochet. Remember, we skipped the first one because our chain 3 counts as a double crochet. So skip the first one. Go into the second one and double crochet, which is yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through the next 2. And we'll do that again. Yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through the next 2. Okay, now don't forget this part. This is tricky. So right here in the corner, you do actually have a stitch there. So you don't want to miss that. I actually did. When I was making this, the first time I had to undo it because I actually skipped this by accident. So make sure you're going right into the corner of that bobble. Do a double crochet. Now we're going to go into the back of the bobble. So there's actually, I'm going to show you this. There's this very long loop there. We're going to go through that loop. That's what we want. All right. So we'll go ahead and do our double crochet into that. All right, now we're going to catch the next 3. Remember, there's 3 single crochets in there. So we're going to catch that. So we'll double crochet into those. 2. Your third one is going to be the corner of that next bobble. So don't forget that corner there. Oops. I think I went through too many. By the way, welcome. Looks like I have quite a few new streamers. So welcome to my stream. I'm Sarah. Today we're doing a bobble stitch which combines double crochet and single crochet in the pattern that I'm doing. All right, so we're at our next bobble. So we yarn over like normal and then go through that very long stitch in the back. Now don't worry if you missed my bobble stitches. I'm going to be doing a whole new row of bobble stitches as soon as we finish this row of double crochet. So you will get to learn the bobble stitch from the beginning. I did already go through the chainless foundation, but I can do that again. If any of you are interested, just pop a little line in chat and just say, yeah, I want to see that again, and I will do it again at the end. Because I think when I was doing that, I only had one viewer on at the time. So I want to make sure that everybody's included. So I'm going across. Now remember, I counted 20 to begin with, so you can either do 19 or 20, but we're going to count and we're going to make sure that we are on the right track, that we have the right number. And that's really important, especially when you're first starting learning how to crochet. But even for some of us old timers, you know, that have been doing it for a while, I think it's really important to, you know, every once in a while count your stitches. Make sure you're on the right track. Because it would stink to get several rows down the line and then have to undo your work. All right. So that should be 20 because I did 20. You could do 19 or 20 depending on how you wanted your bobble stitches to be spread apart. I wanted mine to be a little bit more spread apart, so I have one extra. All right, so let's count. So I'm just going to give myself some slack here. We're counting our posts. Last week we learned about posts and loops. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. How did I get one less? Hang on. There was an extra one at the end. Well, okay, so I can make a decision here. I missed a stitch. Look at that. I missed that. See, it's a good thing to count. Now, I could start over, basically not start over the whole piece, but I could undo all of these double crochets to here. I'm not going to. I'm going to show you how to catch that. Okay, so we're gonna catch that on our next round. Okay, so now we are doing single crochet going back across. So we only need to chain one just to be able to turn. So chain one and turn it. All right, so this time, the first time we started our bobble stitches, we actually went 2 and then we started our bobble stitch. This time we're gonna actually go 4 and start our bobble stitch, and that's gonna give us that alternating pattern so that our bobble stitches aren't right on top of each other. Okay, so we're just doing single crochet, so go into that first one. 1, 2, 3, and then 4. Okay, now we're ready for our bobble stitch. So if you're just joining me, I'm gonna teach you as if I've never taught a bobble stitch before in my life. Okay, so we're gonna start like we're gonna double crochet. You yarn over, you go through your loops there and pull through. Now you're gonna yarn over again and only pull through the first 2. We're not gonna finish the double crochet. We're just gonna go halfway there. So now we have 2 loops on here. Now we're gonna do another double crochet in that same hole. So yarn over, go back through that hole, pull through, go through just the first 2. Now what we should have is 3 on here. 1, 2, 3. We're gonna do this 5 times total. So we've done 2. So we go through that hole, pull through, yarn over, pull through just the first 2. Yarn over, go through the hole, pull through just the first 2. We're going until we have 6 on here. So I've got 5. So we're going to do one more time. You always have one more than the number of stitches you did. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So once I have that, then I yarn over and I pull through all 6. Okay. Now I'm going to do a regular single crochet. So just a regular single crochet, which is just through the hole, pull it, pull through both. We're going to do that 3 times. So 1, 2, 3 single crochets. Now we're ready to do our next bobble stitch. So double crochet, we're going to start our double crochet, yarn over, go through the hole, pull it through, go through just the first 2 loops. Yarn over, same hole, just the first 2. Now again, we're doing this until we get 6. And Sarah's struggling here. I'm telling you, this yarn is just being finicky today. Well, it was kind of being finicky before, so I blame myself for buying this particular yarn. This happens sometimes, I find, with worsted weight more than any other size. All right, I'm going to redo this one because it's just getting really out of hand. So let's count how many I have on here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so I have 2 more to do. Go through. Helps that my crochet math was off to begin with, because I didn't do it. Don't neglect your math, folks. All right, one more time. Always do your math. Math is important. All right, so I should have 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yes. So I'm going to yarn over and pull through all 6. Then 3 single crochets. So 1, 2, 3. And we're ready for our next bobble stitch. Yarn over, go through the hole, pull through, just the first 2. So now we should have 2 on there. And we'll keep doing that in that same hole until we have 6 loops. Okay. Don't forget to yarn over each time. That's one thing, if you're used to doing single crochet, that's the one thing you got to get used to with double crochet, is that you're always yarning over before you go back into the hole, or before you go into any of the stitches. So I've got 1 more to do. I've got 6 on there, so now I can pull through all 6. Welcome, Crixano. How are you doing today? So I have gone through most of the stitches, but I'm going to be doing 1 more bobble stitch, so you'll get to see how to do a bobble stitch. Single crochet. Three times. We're going to do our bobble. So yarn over like you're going to do a double crochet, go through the hole, pull through the first 2, and then we're just going to keep moving. Well, good. I'm glad to hear that. I was asking everybody about their week. I've had a stellar week so far, even though it's just the beginning. Hold on. I got a little bit off here. This is the great thing about crochet, though. If you get a little bit off, something doesn't look right, you can just pull out until you get to where it looks familiar. Okay. My yarn is really giving me problems. Okay, there we go. Whew. Man, that was rough. All right. I'm going to have to get some more yarn. I could be using my wool. My wool does a little bit better. It's because it's this acrylic, you know. Inexpensive yarn isn't always, but sometimes it's an indicator of quality. Okay, I've got 6 on there. So I'm going to pull through all 6 and then single crochet for the last 2. Now, remember how I had that missing one there? Okay, let me get in this last one here. All right, so I'm going to show you how to fix that. Okay. So what we need to do is we need to do a standing crochet, but we already have a loop on there. So we are going to, let's see. Come on. So we're going to go down into that, do a regular double crochet, 1, 2. Then we are going to do, you can either chain 3 or do a standing crochet. When I mess up like that, I like to do a standing crochet. So to remind you of how a standing crochet works, you pull your loop up a little bit so that it's about the size of a double crochet, like about the height. Then you're going to wrap it around, and you've got to hold on to it, because otherwise if you let go, it's just a loop. So if you let go, it'll just pull loose. So you put your thumb on the loop that's on your hook and yarn over. So what it does is it gives you kind of a false yarn over. Then you're going to go through the hole that you just created and pull through. You're going to pull through 1, and now it should be locked on there. So now that loop that you made is locked on there. Pull through the next one. And now you have another double crochet on there. Okay, so now we're going to double crochet all the way across. We skip this first one. We're going to go into the next one. Come on now. Come on now. My tail's trying to get caught up in everything. He's trying to be part of the party. So pull through both. We're just doing regular double crochets now. Don't forget to go into that corner of the bobble stitch. We're just double crocheting all the way across. Like I said, don't forget that corner right before the bobble stitch. It's easy to miss because it's so little. It's kind of at an angle. Then when you get to your bobble stitch, remember you've got that really long loop in the back that you're going through. All right. So we're just double crocheting all the way across. That's all we're doing. If anybody has any questions, please let me know. Like I said, if you're interested in learning the chainless foundation and you came in after I did that, I can do another demonstration of it. I probably will, just for shits and giggles, because, you know, why not? Why not? I mean, we've only been live for 40 minutes, so I feel like I have time to show you guys the foundation, the chainless foundation again. Then you get it twice. Twice is nice. Okay. My tension's getting a little bit tight, so that means I need to give myself some more slack in my yarn. And remember, we're doing this line of double crochet to give us some space between our bobbles. Now we could keep going. So this is what I've got so far. And we could keep going, and you could actually do a whole square. What's really cool about this is that you could work this into your granny squares. So say you were making a quilt or like an Afghan, you could actually make a square with this and then actually use this as a way to get texture, because there is a definite texture. I mean, you can feel this, right? So I know that there's some really cool baby blankets I've seen that have little squares of this bobble pattern. Gives the baby something to hold on to, you know, something to grab. So so we can leave this like this, or we can continue on. I'm going to probably go ahead and leave this because I want to show you guys your chainless foundation. All right, so I'm just gonna snip that, and we're gonna pull this all the way through. We're gonna pull that last little tail all the way through. Okay, now I'm gonna really quickly just do a refresher on weaving in your ends. So you can actually use a smaller hook if you want to. I'm just gonna use the same size just to show you that it's possible. So I'm gonna go into the second, and you can come from either side, it doesn't matter. And I'm just gonna pull that yarn through. Then come from the other side, the opposite of wherever you started, and pull the yarn through there. Do that again. And you're gonna go back and forth a few times. So just pull the yarn through. So I'm just going into the next hole and pulling the yarn. All right, once you get a few times of doing that, so I've done 4, you're gonna go back the opposite direction, and I always just stretch it just a little bit, give it some room to move, because once you come the other way, it's not gonna move. It creates a tension that won't undo itself, and that's the whole point. So you come back through the other side. We're just yarning, weaving our yarn back and forth. In and out. So this last hole there is kind of tricky. Come on. It's very tight. All right, so now this should not move, so we can actually trim it right up next to our crochet, and it should be fine. Now let's weave in this side, because remember this is the foundation, so we're going to weave in this side. So it's the exact same thing, except for because we did the chainless foundation, we've got those little loops at the beginning, so I'm going to pull through the loops. I'm going to show you what I do different here, because these are so loose, because you know it's just a single crochet. Well, yeah, it's just a single loop. So I'll show you what I'll do. All right, so I'm coming through. When I go back the other way, I try to catch some of my like stitch below that. Like I try to bring it back through the stitch. Okay, basically, it doesn't even matter which one you do. I mean, just anywhere where your hook will push through, as long as it's not the same hole as previously. But I find that it makes it like a little sturdier when you do that. Okay. Well, hang on. I got myself hooked. All right, there we go. Last one. I think I did a couple extra on this one. So I'm going to pull it through that top. Oops, wrong way. And it should be nice and sturdy. We'll go ahead and trim it. I love these embroidery scissors. A little Eiffel Tower. Okay. So now we have these two. Now you could do something cool. You could go back and forth and make these and then make like your own, like probably one more of these would make a square. So you would do 6 rows, which means you would do double crochet, bobble stitch row, double crochet, bobble stitch row, double crochet, bobble stitch row. You do that until you have 6 bobble stitch rows, and you do one last line of double crochet, and that should give you a square, or really close to a square. Okay, I'm going to show you the chainless foundation. All right, since you missed that at the beginning, we're going to go through and do that. By the way, if you are new to my stream, I just want to point out quite literally. Right here, if you look, I've got my Discord server. So this is a place where you can share your projects. We can discuss projects. Eventually, I'm going to actually be having a voice chat where you can actually be live on stream with me talking. And so we can actually be having conversation while we're streaming. Now, you would have to mute, like you can watch me, but there's about a 4-second delay. So you'd have to like actually mute Twitch, but you'd be able to hear me through Discord. So Discord is a pretty cool way that we can communicate. So I highly encourage you to join this. If you don't want to have to type that in, I'm just going to really quickly in the chat. That is the link there. If you click on that link, it will join you to the server. And like I said, that's also where I do, because I teach drawing and painting classes as well on Fridays and Saturdays. And that's also where we share drawing and painting as well. So there's a couple different channels. Look for the one that says Crochet Projects or Just Chatting. Either of those places is where we can talk about our projects. Okay, so I made my slip knot. Does everybody remember how to make a slip knot? Hopefully you do. All right. So I made my slip knot. We're going to chain 3. So 1, 2, 3. Yarn over. And we are going to go into that very first loop that we made and pull through. Okay, now here's where the magic happens. We need to create a base that, remember, this, it's going to look like the chain. It looks like your regular chain. We're just combining the first 2 rows. So we need to create this base to go into. All right, so what we're going to do to do that is you yarn over and pull through just the first one. We're not going to pull through both. That creates, that right there is our next base. So now you just do a regular double crochet as if nothing was different. Pull through the first 2. Oh, and I'm doing this with my tail. That happens, folks. All right, so let's start over. Sorry about that. So we do our slip knot, whichever side's on top, you make a little loop and come up through the bottom, pull your 2 loops, pull your 2 tails rather. Okay, let's try this with doing it the opposite way. Sorry about that. All right, I'm going to hold my tail so I don't get it confused. All right, so 1, 2, 3, using my working yarn. It's the yarn that's coming from the skein. All right, so yarn over like you're going to double crochet. Go through that very first loop there that you made. Pull through. Now we've got to make that foundation, so you're going to pull through just the first one. That gives you that foundation row. Now we can go ahead and double crochet like normal. So yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. Yarn over. We're going to go through that base that we made. Come on. He's trying to hide down there. Okay, so go through that base. It gets a little bit easier after the first couple ones. Pull through just the first one so we create our new base. Then go ahead and pull through the next 2. If you keep losing your base, then you can just hold on to it with your fingers while you're crocheting so that you don't lose it. So go through the base, yarn over, pull through just the first one. Then we go ahead and do our double crochet. So here's our base. So we'll do our double crochet. And that's it. So yarn over, go through that base. We're going to create our next base by just going through 1. Yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, just like your regular double crochet. All right. And you just keep doing that. You go through your base, you pull through 1 just to create your next base, and then do your regular double crochet. Go through the base, create your next base, and then go through 2. And see, now you have, you're going across, and so you're basically doing your foundation chain and your first row at the same time. And you just go until you don't do anymore. And you always do, even on the very last one, you always do that creating your base, because it's creating the base for the stitch that you're doing. So if you look at this, like if I didn't create the base for the last one's on this side, then it'd be really rounded. It would come up like that. And we don't want that. We want it to look like, have that square look. So there you go. All right. Are there any questions? Does anybody have any questions about what we covered today? So just to go back over it, we covered the chainless foundation with the double crochet. We covered the bobble stitch. We recovered the single crochet and the double crochet. And I taught you guys standing crochet and how to fix, let me see which side it's even on. I can't even tell. I think it's right here, this side. So I taught you how to fix it if you accidentally skip one. So then that way you don't have to undo and go through all the way. You just do a double crochet, and then on top of that do a standing crochet. You really don't even have to do the standing crochet. You could just do your chain 3 and that's fine. Like you normally do when you're turning. But there you go. If there's not any questions, again, I encourage you to join Discord and share your projects. If you make anything out of these bobble stitches, I would love to see it. The cool thing about bobble stitches is you can just add them into any pattern. So like as you're going along, if you like say you're making gloves and you want to add a couple bobble stitches on the top, you just go ahead and add them. All you want to do is you want to make sure that you're at least 2 apart when you stagger them on the other side, so that they alternate like that. So it just, there needs to be 2 stitches in between. That is it. So thank you very much for joining me today. This Friday, instead of my normal drawing stream, I am actually going to be doing a cute kitten stream. I'm going to be babysitting my sister's adorable kittens that she's fostering, and they are babies. So they're not even old enough to be adopted yet. So that's how little they are, and they are a blast. She keeps sending me videos of how cute they are, and so I promise a very cute, adorable time. We will be talking about art history and philosophy of art, and so there will be some art discussion, but to be honest, it's really just an excuse to see cute kitties. So I look forward to seeing you there. That is 6 p.m. Pacific time this coming Friday. If you can't make it, I hope you have a great week, great weekend, and I will see you next week for our next crochet stream. Thank you very much, and have a fantastic week.